If you're trying to look at an entry-level home, I would act now before it gets worse. Whether you're ready now or just starting your journey, we're here to walk with you every step of the way. Everyone, welcome back to the Purchase Path, where we talk about how to move from renting to owning and how to navigate today's housing market. I'm your host, Des Losberg with Ascension Homes, and we are on episode 20. This market's moving and buyers are starting to act early. So if you're a buyer and you're on the sidelines waiting, this episode's for you, because I'm going to share a quick update on what's happening in the market right now, what we're seeing with our builds, what I'm hearing from other builders and investors, and most importantly, what it means for you if you're the buyer and you're thinking about buying a home yourself. So let's get right into it. Overall, let's back it up just a second. I want to talk about housing affordability. It's still one of not only Arizona's, but the national housing crisis biggest challenges. Inventory, simply put, the entry-level price point just doesn't exist. It's tight, even with higher interest rates. Demand, it's just not available there because people want affordable homes. Demand hasn't slowed down for that entry-level home segment, and families are still eager to buy. And the reality is that's going to continue because simply no one's building affordable housing anymore. That's not where the money is. And it's going to increase as labor costs increase, as material costs increase. So if you're trying to look at an entry-level home, I would act now before it gets worse. So to put it in context, here's the clear sign. All 4 of our homes, actually 5, are currently pending. As of 2 or 3 weeks ago, when this podcast was recorded, it's September of 2025, we were sitting on the market. Things were a little bit slow. Houses were sitting. No one was even looking at it. But when the interest rate reduction was announced, all of a sudden, buyers came out of the woodworks. And now we're fielding calls on homes that were not even done yet. Buyers are willing to step in before the paint is dry because they just don't want to miss the opportunity. We have one in particular. It's on Javier. And we just put the roof and the insulation in, spray foam insulation. We're just weatherproofing it, is what they call sealing it up. And we're already receiving interest and calls on what's available and if they can put an offer in on that. That's projected to be completed in about a month. And we went from home sitting and not selling to out of inventory and now needing to have more product to actually sell and people willing to offer on things that are going to be completed. That really just tells me 2 things. There's one, pent-up demand. Everyone was just kind of sitting on their hands waiting. People are ready to buy, even if it means locking in early, and trust is growing. So buyers are believing in the product, the price point, the value of what's being built. They're also trusting that the market's stable and interest rates are at a good level. So once trust is there, stability is there, and pent-up demand, it's like opening up a floodgate. So if you're sitting on the sideline still, that's what those 2 clear indications mean for me and from my experience at 20 years in the lending industry. So let's get into some buying strategies in this market. So what should you do if you're on the fence about buying? So let's talk about practical strategies for you. 1, I would get pre-qualified early. So I wouldn't wait until you see the perfect home pop up because you want to get your financing in order, or maybe you're not in position yet. You need a good lender to guide you along with your credit, income documentation, debt ratio, whatever that is. Find out now. Don't get into contract and all of a sudden things pop up where you're scrambling to find your financing and then you find out you need to clean some things up on your end. I would get pre-qualified early and then you'll be able to move fast when a home pops up. I will tell you on the home that's not completed, if they're putting an offer in and you're not fully pre-qualified just yet, I would probably pass on your offer because we have so many different buyers right now that are ready to go. So if you got that pre-qualification, it's called a PQF here in Arizona, a pre-qualification form that gives you authority to be able to move quickly, offer quickly, and give the seller confidence and builder confidence like myself. I would also not overlook homes that are currently under construction. So If you're driving around and you're seeing something go up, hey, stop by, say hello, see what's going on. We're getting calls on incomplete builds. It's proof that you don't always need to wait till a home is 100% done. Now, you're wondering, well, how does that work? How do I get my appraisal? How do I get my inspections? Well, all that can be done. And what they do is they do a final inspection prior to closing. So you can get into contract, get your financing in order prior to the completion of the build. You get to see it go up along the way. And once you are ready to close, you get your financing in place, and then the construction is complete. The next thing I would do, especially if you're using creative loan programs, is I would get in early, get in fast. And I would also perhaps get a little aggressive now before the market picks back up, because the first thing to go on a seller's market is concessions. So if you're depending on concessions or down payment assistance or whatever that looks like, then now's the time that you need to act, because sellers or builders are willing to give it. If I have, or any other builder has, multiple offers or multiple buyers, we don't need to give that concession. And so maybe that'll preclude you or exclude you from being able to get that 100% USDA loan or VA loan with concessions or down payment assistance, or maybe it's overlooked. So right now, while the market hasn't fully picked up yet, now might be the time. The next strategy I would look at is everyone thinks about price and rate, price and rate. I got to tell you, in my experience, if I told someone I can sell you $1 million home, and I can sell it to you at 0% interest right now, but you need to pay that loan back in 10 years, and your payment's going to be, I don't want to do the math right now, but it's going to be $25,000 a month. People simply will not buy that. They won't. And if I told them, hey, I'll sell you that same $1 million house, but I'm going to charge you 30% interest. I'm going to extract it over 100 years, but your payment's $3,000 a month. They would gobble it up. They would gobble up the opportunity to buy. And the reality is, in 2005 through 2008, when we had these stated loan programs, or they call it pick-a-pay programs, where you can pick interest only or pick principal and interest, or you could pay below your minimum payment of interest and then tack on the rest to the back end. People loved those loans. And that's why prices were so sky high, relatively speaking, back in 2005, is because they could get their payment down to where it was manageable. So I would say look at monthly payment, not just the list price, because the fact of the matter is what sells is affordability. So if you're getting concessions or rate buy downs, or maybe you're looking at a specialized program, that might get your payment to a point where it's manageable. And it doesn't really matter what your price is, or it doesn't really matter what your interest rate is, as long as you get your rate manageable. Now, math is math, of course, but that's what I would look at, because we just had someone offer a price that they thought was going to work. They found out their payment was a little too high, and we had to go with a different offer. But that was just because they were misinformed and they thought a certain price got a certain payment. So I would get all that up front, so that way you're not shocked once you get into contract. And so the summary of all that is that think of this as you're planting a seed. So renting keeps you stuck in basically cycles. It doesn't matter if it's up, down, whatever it is, rent's always going to increase with inflation. Now buying, even if it's a modest starter home, it puts you on the path of equity, stability, and wealth for your family. So be smart, run your numbers, get creative, and then put yourself in position to act fast, act quickly as this market starts to shift. So I want to conclude with this. What we're learning from our builds right now is our homes and the calls on our unfinished ones are teaching us something valuable. Buyers, they're just not waiting anymore. We're hearing people say, okay, now is the right time. Now is the right price point. Let me get this in now. They're still getting concessions. They still have a little bit of leverage, but I got to tell you, in about a month or 2 months, that might not be the case anymore. And really here at Ascension, that's the movement we're leading. We're building affordable homes from $250,000, $280,000 right here in Arizona City, Pinal County. And that's hard to come by. And that's scarcity and why families are reaching out before we even finish, and why we're pending on all our homes right now. So the market's moving. Homes are going under contract quickly. Buyers are getting prepared, getting ahead of the curve quickly, so you need to keep up with them. They're stepping into homes that aren't even complete yet. And if you're going to wait for that perfect time, just know this: perfect never comes. Don't get stuck in paralysis by analysis. But the families who do take action now are the ones who will look back a few years and know that they are grateful. So if you want to learn more about upcoming builds or financing programs or how to get on our waiting list to reserve a home before it's complete, you can visit us at ascensionhomes.com. That's AZCENSION, ascensionhomes.com. You can email us at team@ascensionhomes.com. So thank you again. This is episode number 20. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Des Losberg, and let's keep it moving forward, one home, one family at a time. Bless you, and we look forward to working with you soon, whoever you are. The cost of living has pushed too many families out of the communities they love. They work hard, but still can't afford enough space. Rent keeps rising, and home ownership feels like a distant dream. That's where the purchase path comes in. I'm Des Losberg, founder of Ascension Homes, and I retired after 22 years in the lending industry after I kept seeing the same pattern. Good, hardworking families getting locked out, not because they didn't deserve a home, but because no one ever showed them a real way forward. This podcast exists to change that. Here you'll learn about real paths to ownership, like zero down financing options, down payment grants, lease to own programs, and financing options that are actually designed for families like yours. This isn't about fluffy dreams or get rich quick advice. It's about clarity, options, strategy. So whether you're relocating, renting, or just tired of waiting, you'll get the tools and the truth to move forward one step at a time. Follow the purchase path now on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen, and start your journey with Ascension Homes. Your path, your purchase, your time.